Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Saturday, April 23, 2022. You're watching my 12th video. There is an interesting development on the news for a few days. Some people were tearing pieces from the door of Hagia Sophia and swallowing it. I don't know if it's based on cult or religious belief, but someone is knowing the historical artifact as you know it. I don't know if there are any other historical artifacts in the world that are almost 1500 years old and still intact and close to the original shape and condition. What does the Ministry of Culture and Tourism do in this regard? Regardless of their beliefs or motives, let alone respecting those who do this, and they should be jailed on the spot. This mentality is no different from the ISIS. Same principle applies to all historical artifacts in our country, and they should be all under protection. It is very frustrating that our society, which is sensitive to every unnecessary issue, is so insensitive on this one. As a result of Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu's decision not to pay his electricity bill, the electricity in his house was cut off the other day. Passive resistance is not my personal favorite method, but at least I appreciate it as an effort to obtain the supremacy of discourse after 3 months staggering period of the opposition. I think the idea of paying the bill a week later is also appropriate. 1 week is sufficient to express ideas and give the necessary messages. Longer duration reduces the effect and creates the possibility of an adverse reaction. I do not agree much with the criticisms of some circles, such as showing weakness and ineffective methodology to get results. Politics is about seizing the supremacy of discourse and to obtain public support with the right messages as well as other things. I hope that Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu will make use of 1 week's time efficiently with the right messages. Of course, in the meantime, he has to silence the crackling voices from his own party. Unfortunately, there are too many people in the CHP who try to come forward for their personal show-off purposes and say things out of the blue and damaging the main strategy. Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu stated that the issue of electoral security will be discussed at the six-party opposition bloc meeting on Sunday, April 24th. I appreciate the fact that it is finally gathered with a concrete and publicly supported agenda. The strongest party at the table and the party with the most plentiful resources is CHP. And Onursel Adigüzel, whose failure in election security has been well documented without question, is still the party's vice president responsible for election security. It is imperative that he should be replaced immediately, and that a strong team is formed from the competent names of all parties on the table in this regard. Election and ballot box security cannot be ensured by someone whose failure is clearly documented. Even arguing about this is a waste of time. Opposition voters demand a definitive solution on this issue. Verbal persuasion efforts will not be sufficient and will not be regarded serious. As a result of the persistent efforts of the Zafer Party, we observe changes in discourse in parallel to the sensitivity of the society, both on the opposition wing and on the ruling wing. The unhappiness of the romantic liberal leftists, who are once again in a not enough but yes formation, has already started to be reflected in their comments. This fact alone is an indication of how well the Zafer Party's campaign is moving in the right direction. It is also very pleasing that the supporters of Abdullah Gül broke up and got into a fight, as it shows that the traps of this jelly-charactered group, who take the shape of every ball, no longer hold. The partnership and leadership of romantic liberal leftists in every harmful project of political Islam and their unlimited support is now observed as a very obvious and proven strategy. In addition to all these, what needs to be observed and analyzed more carefully are the broadcasts made by the foreign media elements of the Fethullah Gülen organization. The common feature of these publications is that they contain 2/3 of correct information, and 1/3 of them are blended with fabricated information for perception management purposes. While following them, it is necessary to make an effort to make this distinction. They kind of bait people with useful information, blurring the lines between right and wrong or useful and harmful, and trying to open up a comfortable working space for their colleagues in political Islam and romantic liberal leftists. Although it may seem a bit complicated, they are following an obvious strategy designed by foreign intelligence units. Unfortunately, they have been successful many times so far. In the information age of 2022, these methods have largely been deciphered. Even if they find a new method, they will be revealed more easily because they have to work on the same figures. I advise you to be extremely careful while following these individuals, interspersed within various domestic and foreign institutions and formations. Thanks for watching. See you in the next broadcast. Goodbye.